musical guest, Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary fame joins us. First, welcome to the program. Nice to have you, Peter. Welcome.
Well, it's a lot of years and
Yes.
a lot of achievement and a lot of remarkable bringing of a consciousness to America that really Harry Chapin, a great friend of Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Right.
And a great personal friend of mine. We both went to Cornell, and we both became very dedicated activists. This is special. This is amazing. What Harry has done is extraordinary. And as I sit here and I think about it,
Tell me something about Harry, since he started this many years ago. Tell me a little bit about Harry from your perspective.
Well, as I was saying, he really followed in the footsteps of Pete Seeger, as did I, and also he also looked upon me in certain ways as a person who was forging a path in terms of activism. And he was amazing in the fact that he would do about half of his concerts were benefits.
Amazing. Amazing.
And so he'd do one, he said, well, this one's for
Never
me.
heard anybody do that except him, ever. That's remarkable.
This one's for me, this one's for what I believe in. And always on his birthday, he would do a benefit. And, you know, there was a time in the United States when there was enormous pride in seeing what was happening in terms of music being kind of the conscience or the expression of commitment that people had to making a fairer, better world. But Harry's identity and image was unique in that he was always thinking not about a temporary solution. He was thinking about a basic change that had to be made, because we have issues that come and go, but basically we need to make sure that for the children of our country, not just for ethical reasons, but for the development of a society that is healthy and is advancing and is humane, we have to make sure that this hunger, this basic, you know, I mean, you have, of course, you know, wonderful efforts that are now dedicated to building homes for homeless people. But in terms of hunger, Harry was a pioneer.
No question.
And hunger is not only just about food, it's about the equity of the distribution of wealth. Did you know that 40% of the food that is put before people in this country is wasted?
Amazing.
It is.
Remarkable when you think about it. It really is.
And so what he's trying to do is not just provide food, he's providing the kind of advocacies that are needed to get equity in terms of what it is that we share. So I think that, you know, we did some concerts with Harry and Peter, Paul, and Mary.
When you say we, you say Peter, Paul, and Mary, one of the iconic folk groups from that time, the early 60s. How did Peter, Paul, and Mary get together? Give me the quick story of how Peter, Paul, and Mary got together.
First, I'm going to sing you a song that we used to sing with Harry. And then I'll tell you a little bit more about Peter, Paul, and Mary getting together. How many roads must a man walk down before they call him a man? Yes, and how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? How many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? How many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is, it's inside of all of us. It's in our hearts. It's in the spirit of Harry Chapin that lives on. It's up to us to deal with these questions and make sure that in every generation they are answered as we can do so.
Well, great job. And you started with the biggie. I mean, Blowing in the Wind, the song of a generation. How many, you must have sold, I can't even imagine how many copies Blowing in the Wind sold.
It's not something I know.
A lot, though. It was a big song, a Dylan song, that. But you had so many hits, but this is the song that became the iconic theme of the generation, Blowing in the Wind.
Well, it's one of them, certainly. And it was a song that Peter, Paul, and Mary sang at the March on Washington in 1963. We sang If I Had a Hammer and Blowing in the Wind. And Martin Luther King delivered his I Have a Dream speech, and that was a seminal, extraordinarily important moment for us, because when we saw 250,000 people were standing there, and they were, in their hearts, dedicated to trying to eliminate the remnants of slavery in this country, and many great things happened in the years following, although we have far to go, as we know, because of the injustices and inequities in the criminal justice system and the warehousing of young black men. And we know, of course, that Black Lives Matter is there, and it's real, and that people who are people of color live with a grave threat over their heads, and there is prejudice. I have no doubt in my mind, no doubt whatsoever, that a lot of the kind of division that exists in this country now is there because of the continuing reality of racism and the fear, and this is real fear on the part of many members of society that, number one, people who are not white will outnumber people who are Caucasian, fear of immigrants, fear of Hispanics, Muslims, and people of color, African Americans. And so we have a long way to go, and we have a very troubled nation right now, and Harry would have some few choice words about this.
And he obviously has, left this hungerthon and left, obviously, the number again is 1-800-5HUNGRY, hungerthon.org. You're hearing from Peter Yarrow, from Peter, Paul, and Mary. You're going to tell me how Peter, Paul, and Mary got together. How did you get together?
Quickly and wonderfully.
Go ahead. Who discovered whom?
No, that isn't an answer. I know. I just was kidding you.
But who was the? Who,
I understand the question.
Yeah,
I do understand your intentions. It's just that I have so many thousands of times characterized it. I will do it a bit for you.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Simply because of the sincerity of your smile on your face.
Yeah, just quickly.
Yes. I came from Cornell into Greenwich Village after having been an instructor in a course in folk music and folk ballads, English 355, 356, in which I saw that there was a transformation that was taking place when the students would sing these songs, traditional songs. And it made it very clear to me that the consciousness of America was soon to alter. So instead of taking my degree and going into one field of another of psychology, I went to Greenwich Village, and there I met Albert Grossman. Albert Grossman was at the time managing Joan Baez and Odetta and Theodore Bikel and working with Bob Gibson. And he asked me if he could manage me, and he did. And at a certain point, Albert, who was brilliant in the extreme, came to me and said, "You know, Peter, I think if we were to form a group with you and a very strong female singer and a comedian who is also a singer, it would be extraordinary. And it wouldn't be like the Brothers for the Kingston Trio, where you're all kind of blending into one human being. There'd be three different people, more like the Weavers." So when I saw the picture of Mary Travers on the wall of Izzy Young's Folklore Center, and I said to Albert, "Who is that?" He said, "That's Mary Travers." And he knew her, and he made the introduction. And I saw Noel Paul Stuckey, who's Paul of Peter, Paul and Mary, across the street on McDougal Street at the Gaslight. And there it was that I said to Albert, "I think he'd be ideal. He's an amazing comedian, but he's also very gifted musically." So as it happened, I went over to Mary's place on McDougal Street, walked up the 3 or 4 flights of stairs, sang with her, said, "You know, this is something," and then suggested we call Noel Paul Stuckey. We went over there. We sang Mary Had a Little Lamb. And no matter who sang lead, there was magic in the air. And I called up Albert and I said, "That's it, Albert. This is it." And we started rehearsing the next day.
How good is that? Now, before you go, you got to give me a little 2 songs. Well, give me Puff the Magic Dragon, because everybody wants to hear that. So give me that.
I'm going to be here for 2.5 hours.
You are?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, but go ahead. Before you go, little Puff the Magic Dragon.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you first a little story. I know I'm respecting your questions, but I have a bit of a mission here to talk about Harry in ways that others might not.
We just don't have as much time as you would like. That's the problem.
Oh, you need for me to be off the air shortly?
Brief. We have a couple minutes, but not. We don't have. We have a couple minutes. Yeah. We have about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Then I'll not tell you the story.
Yes, please. But yeah, I mean, I would like to hear a little bit of the song, if you would, though.
Yeah, we can do that.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Here is a song about a magic dragon. But more important than the dragon is your commitment to doing what dragons want you to today, which is to contribute to hungerthon. You know the numbers to call. And if you do that, Puff will be happy and will sing his song, and all of you will sing to Puff. The magic dragon lives by the sea and frolics in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Little Jackie Paper loved that rascal Puff and brought him strings and sealing wax and other fancy stuff. Oh, Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea, and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. And if you want to donate to Hungerthon, you call 1-800-5-HONGRY. 1-800-5-HUNGRY. That's 1-800-5-HUNGRY, which translates into 1-800-548-6479. A dragon lives forever, but Hungerthon is with us now. So to honor Harry Chapin, this is how. Call 1-800-5-HUNGRY now, my friend. You'll feel better when you do. This effort never ends to make sure that there's equity in every generation. We'll know that's true. But right now there is something for you to do. Oh, Puff, the magic dragon, he lives by the, he's still there, frolics in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff, the magic dragon, he still lives by the sea, and he's right here at Hungerthon, entertaining you and me.
Great job. Great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And did a nice job today, and thank you for coming down and doing this for us. We appreciate it. The number 1-800-5-HUNGRY, hungerthon.org/WFAN, 1-800-548-6479. Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary fame, back after this.